growing up without parents and growing up in homeless shelters and stuff like that, I understood at a very early age that nothing is going to be given to me. Yeah. I don't have the handouts. And a lot of staff and a lot of people would preach that to us is you guys already have a bad hand you're dealt. You guys don't have parents. You guys don't have the family that a lot of these kids have to fall back on. You have to work hard to get there because you're already against the odds right now. Now, what are you going to do with that situation?
Listen. All right. The energy here is amazing. Welcome back to the Deafine podcast. Every week we invite interesting guests. This is his second time on a podcast. My first reoccurring guest. He hit me up. He's like, man, I should come on a pod. I want to see the studio. I want to see what you got going on. And I'm like, hell yes.
Had to.
This guy has literally helped not only the Deafine brand, but has helped me as a friend. He's been consistently keeping communication beyond the brand, beyond what we created. We created some bangers.
Yeah.
Some great videos, a lot of momentum in the both of our business. And it's exciting to have you back here now with a different perspective.
Thank you.
Because before we hit record, you was explaining to me like the first time we met, it was kind of nerve-wracking because one, I was shooting outside. I was shooting in public, people watching. And the setting wasn't all that right.
And there was a lot of people everywhere.
Everywhere. People were watching. People were asking questions. But like I said, that was preparing you for what's happening next. And I'm glad you came on because we're going to talk about what's next.
Yeah.
But for some of you guys who haven't heard Devin Paladino's story, you could check it out. It's insane. And for those who didn't, he's gonna share a quick message of his upbringing and a little bit about him.
Yeah.
If you want to know the full story, you just watch one of the videos. I think it's like 14 or 15 episode. I'll place a link in the bio. You guys can check that out. But what's going on, my boy? Listen, I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you for inviting me again, man.
Yeah.
I had to come see the studio. I was like, man, let me check this out.
Yeah.
It's I really appreciate you taking the time to invite me on here, give me a platform to speak on. Like I said, I wanted to be a motivational speaker, and dreams don't work unless you do. So this is a place where I can help try to start my dreams and get my process going and, fight that battle of being nervous to speak. This is a great opportunity. I appreciate you, my brother. Most
definitely, bro. And I think we created a relationship beyond just like helping each other.
Oh yeah.
Right. It's beyond the platform because we have conversations and we be on the phone for hours.
Yeah. And we don't really, like you say, you don't do that with people. I don't either. And it's just like, I don't know. It's a connection. Not only the connection, but it's about, the stuff that we're trying to accomplish in life. And it's that connection that helps because we're both trying to go somewhere in life. Right. We're both trying to build up our brands and we're both trying to become successful people one day. We're not trying to settle for the bare minimum. You know what I mean? So I feel like those conversations, we both see the hunger in ourselves and we both can connect with that because we both have same goals and achieve drives that we're trying to get to.
Right. So yeah, absolutely. Like, it's amazing to see somebody on the same path and can understand like some of the adversity and struggles that you go through. And it's just, it's simple stuff that sometimes we create in our mind. Yeah. Right. That creates anxiety. You said you had anxiety.
Yeah, I did. I'm not gonna lie. I was nervous at first. Cause it's like, I've never done this before.
And you didn't know me.
No. And I didn't really know you that well too. And then like shooting in front of a place with like a bunch of people in the background watching and everything, I was kind of nervous. I can't even lie.
I enjoyed that because I can only imagine building a brand. Eventually you're going to get invited to speak and maybe in public, right? Yeah. Or speak in front of a group or speak on a Zoom or something like that. So it's better to be prepared for an opportunity than have an opportunity and not be prepared.
Right.
So this is kind of leading into the direction and the path that you're heading, right? Speaking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that, but just a little bit, a quick brief of who's Devin Paladino, where do you come from, and a little backstory. Just make it quick. Okay.
So I'm Devin Paladino. I'm 21 years old. I'm from Rockford, Illinois. Moved down here to Florida 2 years ago. I go to college in Tampa, Florida. I come from 13 different foster homes, 3 homeless shelters, a facility for 2 years. That's my upbringing. I God gave me the ability to write a book, and I wrote a book, and then I kept writing, and I've written 3 books. On my 4th book now. I'm trying to become a motivational speaker, traveled to a few countries, made connections, and just trying to build myself up to become a successful speaker and writer, and just a good person, successful person one day. So that's my little background brief.
If you really want to know the whole thing, it gets much deeper. Listen, when I first met this guy, I was just looking at his Instagram and stuff like that. Someone, a mutual friend of mine, had posted his story. Posted on her story. I went to his page and I'm like, yo, this kid is incredible. Some of the things you face, I still can't understand. So before I even reached out, I went and bought his book. And I'm like, I want to know, because eventually I'm gonna invite him on, and I just want to make sure it fits with the brand and stuff like that. And I was just blown away. That it, like, halfway through the book, I was like, I gotta reach out to him now. Right?
Yeah.
And it was like, even since then, I know you said you was kind of like hesitant, but I made sure we did it right. We came into the show right. You got a lot of love, a lot of momentum from that episode.
Yeah,
right?
it actually hit 11,000 views on my Instagram, which is the most views I've ever gotten on anything. And then I viewed the insight, it reached 23,000 people, and it had over 350 shares, around 400, 500 shares. So it really showed me that I have a story to tell. Not only do I have a story to tell, but I can speak, and people will listen when I'm speaking. And it showed me that I need to stop being so like shy and just nervous. I appreciate you being patient with me, because I'm not gonna lie, I was a little hesitant and I was a little, nervous, and there's some stuff going on before that. So I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, but I don't know. I just felt like this was a good opportunity. I had to push myself to do it. And then even when we were doing the show, I was still nervous. People were watching, people were walking past. And I was just like, I just had to fight through this and just speak.
Right.
And I'm definitely glad I did that, because I wouldn't be sitting here today if I didn't. So,
but you even had the mayor reach out. Reached out to the mayor.
Yeah, the mayor of Tampa reached out to me. Connected with her. She invited me to meet her. Went to City Hall downtown, met her. Presented all 3 of my books to her, and she saw the community work I was doing with giving back in the community with my children's book about world hunger called Mommy, I'm Hungry. And I was providing meals for elementary schools and giving back to nonprofit organizations that help feed the homeless. And she saw the work I was doing. She invited me on, and we had a good conversation, and we talked. And she said one thing that really stood out to me. And she said that, because, I'm kind of like I was saying, I was kind of a shy person. I was kind of telling her, and she kind of saw that in me. And she was like, she's giving me insight on how she ran for mayor and how she became mayor of Tampa, which is a big city, big deal. And she told me something that really stuck with me. And she told me that you'll never be as successful as you want to, especially being a successful writer, if you just sit behind a desk. You have to get yourself out. You have to get yourself out there. You have to speak. You have to go to different engagements. You have to basically promote yourself and get your name out there, because nobody's going to do it for you. You'll never be successful if you just sit behind a desk and write, which is what I was doing. You have to get out more. You have to be in the community. You have to meet people. You have to interact with people, come on speaking shows like this. You have to do stuff like that. You can't just sit behind a desk. Now, if you're like LeBron James, and obviously you can, because you're already famous like that, but for guys like me trying to come up now, you have to find those opportunities and make the most of them. So that really stuck with me when she told me that. And she told me, your story has a lot of potential to take off, and you have potential to build your brand and become somebody one day. Because I was explaining, what I want to do. I want to be a successful speaker and writer one day. And she's telling me you have a lot of potential to do that, but you can't sit behind a desk. You have to get out more. So she really inspired me with that. It was a good conversation, really good, really genuine, great person. Very glad. I don't really say I'm proud of myself too much, but that was definitely a proud moment that I remember forever.
Why is that?
Just because the hunger I have, I always want to get to another level.
You don't want to feel content.
No. My biggest fear is growing up in Chicago and Rockford. You see a lot of people get swole-headed. They think they're all that. They think they're the stuff, and then they fall off, or something bad happens to them. And I've never wanted to be that person. I've always wanted to be humble. I've always wanted to be somebody who's always just kept working hard, trying to get to the next level, because that's just the type of person I could see that happen to other people, where they get cocky and then they get swole-headed and then they fall off. That was always my biggest fear. And I've always wanted to, I always told myself I was going to be humble, and I was going to keep working hard and push myself in what I did. So that's just what I stick with to this day.
Amazing, bro. She even gave you an opportunity to like kind of mentor you.
Yeah. So she actually gave me an internship, a paid internship. She kept saying that in the meeting. She's like, I want to offer you a paid internship. So I didn't really think much of it until I told you about it, and I told a few other friends, like, that's huge, bro. Like, the mayor of Tampa is offering you a paid internship. Not too many people have that, especially a paid internship. And, you know, I wasn't going to do it at first, and then I started thinking about it more, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this opportunity and try to make the most of it. So, you know, I'm working on that right now.
And that's speaking, right?
Yep. So it's going to be speaking engagements, you know, working with kids, speaking to kids, you know, stuff like that. So definitely a great opportunity.
That's in your lane. It's crazy what falls in your lap.
Yeah.
When you become obsessed with what you want, but also consistent with the work that comes behind it.
Exactly.
And you know, since I first met you, I'm like, be consistent. And you're one of the people that took this show and you multiplied it and you created something for yourself.
Yeah.
And this is what I try to tell people. It's like, yo, you don't have to have 1 billion friends or followers on social media.
Right.
You just got to be consistent.
Right.
And wherever you see the message in the show or whatever you tend to post, like, use that to amplify anything that you have going on.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's what you did. You would constantly post. You would move from the book to the podcast to your messaging. You would repost, and you're doing all these things. And I'm like, bro, he's doing it right. This is what I'm trying to tell people. It's like, use this platform. If I invite you on, obviously you may have a business or you may have something that you're trying to create. Use this to your advantage, like you said. Right. This is a benefit for you. You can get in front of eyes and an audience that you may not have right now.
Right.
And you just pick it up from there and run with it.
Right. That's the thing that a lot of people fail to realize is you have to take advantage of your opportunities and make the most of them. Because not too many opportunities are going to present themselves to you. And when you get them, you have to make the most of them. And then that opens up more opportunities for you. See, a lot of people, what they do is they'll get stagnant, or they won't take advantage of the opportunity, or they'll just think that, you know, they can do it their way. But, you know, 9 times out of 10, that's not how it works. You have to take advantage of the opportunities that is presented to you and then make the most of it and do your best with it. And that's just all I was trying to do. And like I said I wanted to be a successful speaker and writer one day. I can't say that if I'm not willing to put the work in behind it. So that's what I wanted to do, is stand for that. And that's what I did. And then I wanted to keep going with it, and I'm still keep going with it and still trying to work to get to that level.
Yeah, I think you're going to be phenomenal.
I hope so one day, bro.
Yeah, you are. One, because your story is so impactful, but also I see that you're coachable. When someone tells you something and if it makes sense, you actually follow and go through with it. And that's why, you know, what we did was a great show to amplify the both of us. I've got a lot great benefits from having you on, and vice versa. Yeah. And I think that's what having good relationships is about, right? Yeah. It's everything is give and take, bro. Yeah. It's a pull or push. And I feel like most people have relationships that are just dreading on what they can pull rather than what they can give.
Right. A lot of people fail to realize relationships are two-sided. It's not just one.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it would never work out. That's the thing that a lot of people fail to realize. So, like, the relationship that me and you have, the relationship that we have is different because we're both two minds that are trying to get to the top and build our brands.
We're going in the same direction.
Yes, we're both trying to get there. So it's not like I'm taking anything from you and you're taking anything from me. We're just having ideas, bringing them together and talking. And, you know, we chop it up about life and what's going on with there and everything. But the biggest key is you have to surround yourself with people who are hungry like you are, who have a vision that you want to get to. Otherwise, it won't. So, like, if I'm talking to a farmer who just wants to raise animals and I want to be a speaker and motivator, it's not going to work because his ideas is completely different than what my ideas are. Right. Now, if he is a farmer who wants to have a huge farm one day and be a famous farmer, then our ideas can go alike because we're both trying to build our brands up and get there. Yeah. So that's the thing, that you have to surround yourself with hungry people who have a vision and desire as you do.
Bro, even just having this conversation, we do this all the time, right? We do it like once a week.
You blowing up my damn phone. I'm just playing.
You capping. You calling me. Like, bro, what should I do? What should I do? No, but it's interesting. You know, I think relationships are interesting So do you have good relationships with do you have a lot of friends?
Yeah. I've actually made a lot of friends since I moved down here. I used to be very reserved and to myself, you know, like just like to myself kind of.
Yeah, when I first met you, you were like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was that we just had met.
Yeah.
And you was kind of guarded, or that was just your personality.
Yeah, it was probably because we first met, just kind of like our first time meeting in person. But no, I've made a lot of friends since I moved down here. I've made a lot of friends. When I first moved here to Tampa in 2020, I didn't know not a single person, nobody at all. And it's kind of crazy to see how many people I've met and made friends with. And then like my Instagram profile, not just to bring up Instagram as far as like social media, making friends. When I first moved down here, I had like 400 followers. I didn't use Instagram at all like that. And now I'm at 3,000. So like I've made a lot of friends down here, connect with a lot of people.
That's great because you're using it the right way, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening in the DMs, but that's I can only imagine, bro. You young. You're on your trajectory. You're evolving. You know, we met each other 5 months ago, something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. We met each other in January.
5 months, bro, and you have done so much, and I'm really proud of you, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Because I see the growth. Yo, we have conversations like every other week or something.
Yeah,
something like
chop
that.
It up.
We check in and whatever. And I love that, by the way. I do that with just a handful of people, like entrepreneurs and stuff like that. But yeah, so how do you have time to do all of this? You
It's really it's about learning time management. When you live on your own, like I learned time management is everything when I moved to college. Because then it was like, I remember the first 2 days where I was living in my own apartment and I was like, this is so weird. Like my day is what I choose to do now. Like I'm grown. Like if I want to lay in bed all day, I'll lay in bed all day, but there'll be consequences to that, obviously. But it's like time management is everything. So I just learned, like, for instance, I break down my days as I go now.
But do you have a social life?
Yeah, of course.
All the time that you...
Yeah. I always work out with my friends at the gym. When I go to the gym...
Yeah, like, but you see, that's part of your routine. I'm talking about...
No. It is... No, like, because when I'm done with school, then I go to the gym and I always, text a bunch of my friends, hey, bro, let's go get a workout in today. Because I always go there regardless. And then I work out with a bunch of my friends. But social life, yeah, all the time.
Outside of the gym, outside of school, outside of that.
Yeah. So I usually will go to, maybe grab a couple friends, go out to the movie theaters.
Okay.
I'm 21. I want to go out and have a social life and enjoy life, because I noticed that what I tend to do is I'm like a workhorse. So I always want to work on something. But I have the rest of my life to do that. I need to learn to enjoy it and go out and have fun and balance that time out. So that's what I've been doing more and more and working on and adjusting to. So, I've just always stayed focused to the things that I wanted to accomplish and do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Has that affected you? Like, I know the burnout is real. You know what that is?
No.
Burnout, when you overexert yourself to do one in particular thing.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
There's something called the hustle mentality, right? Fast cities like New York, Miami, even Tampa. It's like, yo, go get it. They don't live in moderation or have balance.
No.
That's why every time I speak to you, I'm like, bro, you always doing something, but I'm the same exact way.
Yeah.
But I've experienced burnout. Like it even messes with me, like mentally. Like my mental just goes blank.
Yeah.
And then I start to question things. Am I doing the right thing?
Right.
Am I on the right path?
Right. When you're on that type of path, you're so focused on what you want to accomplish and do that you forget to enjoy life. And then when those things don't happen the way you want to, because you exert all your time and energy to it, then you start to question yourself, like, am I doing this right? Am I supposed to be doing this? Is this meant for me? And that's just a part of the process, part of the grind. You have to figure out as you go and put the work in, is this what you want to do? We all have those questions. We all do. Whether it's relationship-wise, school, work, is this the type of job I want to work? All that. We always question that. As humans, we're curious people. That's the thing is, we're just naturally curious because there's so many opportunities out there for us.
That's why entrepreneurship is used loosely.
Yeah.
And that's why like relationships is so hard to manage.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Even like friendships, relationships, business relationships, is like you have so many varieties and options that what way do you go?
Exactly. And then it's like when you have those type of relationships, sometimes you get too caught up in what you're doing, or sometimes what you're doing causes you to be stressed out or something like that. And then some relationships don't work out, or they fail as a result of what you're trying to do personally. And that stress or that hunger can cause certain relationships to fail because you don't give all your time or your energy, or, you know.
Yo, I agree 100%. I actually said this on a different episode. I'm single. I've been single for the past 4 years for the simple fact I know that a relationship, like an intimate relationship with somebody, takes work, right? It takes work, time, and energy. And right now, like, I've been through some wild relationships. Like, it's crazy, toxic. And you sound like you can relate, boy.
Man, do I? Man, when I have you ever had just one person who you've been just desperate over, who, like, a woman who you've been desperate over, and a relationship that you really wanted?
I don't think desperate. I think I was infatuated with the idea of what we can be as a unit.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, this person, like, if I had and it was the most toxic relationship, but if I had a checklist, of what I want in a female, she was that. Yeah. But the baggage that came along with it. Yeah. And I guess our headspace at the time, like, I wasn't developed the way I am now. Yeah. My mind wasn't there. Hers definitely wasn't there. Yeah. And it just created the most nasty and toxic relationship, like fighting on a weekly basis, getting drunk and arguing for things that made no sense. Yeah. So literally, I couldn't have relationships with females. She couldn't have relationship with dudes. It was like prison. Like, I was dating my CO and vice versa. Mm-hmm. Bro, we would argue, like, not speak for a week, 2 weeks. I go buy an engagement ring because I want to get her back. Like, it was the most nastiest feeling. It's like, yo, when you think you in love, and at that point I believe I was in love with the idea of being in love. Yeah.
You said you went and bought an engagement ring trying to get her
listen,
back?
I done the most cringiest and corniest stuff that you can possibly do to gain a female's attention.
Yo, I can relate 100%, bro. Yeah. Man, what did you do, bro? Man, when I tell you I was so desperate and just in love, and this was my first love, right? And, you know, somebody who I really wanted to be with forever, somebody who I wanted to marry. Told her parents I wanted to marry her, told her daily, like, hey, I want to be with you for a long time. Like, I love you. I couldn't ask for a better girlfriend. You know, you're who you are. You know, we had our little fights here and there. And, you know, we ended up getting into, you know, a fight, and, you know, we ended up breaking it off. But, man, when I tell you I tried to get her back like no other, man. Bro, I lost my mind, bro. I was in love. This was my first love. All I've ever known my whole life is how to work hard for things that you want. Mm-hmm. So when we broke it off, I was like, you know what? I'm going to work hard to get her back, because that's all I've ever known.
You used that mentality?
Yes. So we broke up 5 days before Christmas, which sucked. So I went out and I bought her sisters, and her mom Christmas gifts. Boom, that's one. Then we talked on the phone, and, you know, she's saying, I don't think things are going to work out. And I wrote her 2 messages, you know, please,
crazy messages.
Can we stay together? Begging her. Ouch. No response. Left her voicemail, no response. Then next month, January came, wrote her a long apology saying how I wanted to be with her. No response. February came.
You don't give up, bro.
No, February came. I bought her mom, and her 2 sisters big boxes of chocolate, put flowers in there, bought her a teddy bear, got her a gift card to Chick-fil-A because that's her favorite restaurant. Man, I gave it all there, sent it to them. I didn't say anything. I wanted to surprise her, sent it to her. No response. Then I saw her at the mall later on that month in February. It was like February 20 something. It was late February. I saw her at the mall. Saw her there. Saw her and her family there. I was like, sat there broke down emotionally. It's like, I love you and I want to be with you. Embarrassed myself in front of the whole mall. People texted me after. It's like, yo, are you good? I saw you were, emotional. I'm like, oh man. And that happened. Then I grew out a beard, grew out facial hair, trying to impress her, because I know that she said before I looked good with the beard. So I could grow out a beard trying to impress her. No response, nothing. Started traveling and trying to go to different countries, trying to impress her. No response. I was like, man, like I lost my mind. Like I was like trying to get her back and trying to be with her because I was desperate.
Yeah.
That was my first love. That was somebody who I loved, somebody who I wanted to be with. And it's funny how we all have that one person who we really want to be with and we're desperate and try to get our ex back.
You know what's crazy? The good thing about love is that no one dies from it.
No.
And at
no,
times
but it felt like a death. It really did, because that was my best friend. That was someone who I really loved and cared about, and just made a mistake. Was just didn't think one day, made a mistake. And at least at the end of the day, I can say with being desperate, at least she knows that. At least I know I can say at the end of the day, I did everything I could to try and get her back. And I never cared about the makeup she had, what type of car she drives, body type, nothing like that. I just loved her for her. And that was my best friend. That was my first love. That was somebody who I wanted to be with. And at least at the end of the day, she can always say that, hey, Devin always loved me for me. I would have gave her the shirt off my back. I sent her over $500 in Cash App. Bought her St. Laurent. I would have given her anything because that's just how much I loved her. And I'm a wear my heart on my sleeve type of guy. I didn't care about any of that. Like I wanted to be with her and I wanted it to work out. And
why did you think that was a good idea? Because that sounds sick, bro.
I don't know, bro. I was just like,
no, I think you have such a powerful story, and we only mentioned a fraction on this podcast, and
yeah.
It could stem from that. It could stem from, some of the experience that you had in your life, and you finally meet somebody that you're compatible with, and you start to create these visions of how the future can look like.
Yeah.
And you're so focused on that, and because you're such a hard worker, you're like, this is impossible. It has to work no matter what. And then, like you said, you made a mistake, and things led to another, and now you're here. Like, where's your mind, like, mentally?
Still broken over it.
Yeah.
Still broken over it. I think I'll always be broken over it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a deep wound. I'll always be there. Yeah, it'll always be a deep wound. Still broken over it. But you just have to keep moving forward with life, and at some point you just have to realize,
it feels like that, bro. Yeah, I didn't eat, couldn't sleep.
Yeah,
and I think everybody experiences that once in their life.
They do.
But I want to say this, bro. You have a big heart. You're a very compassionate person. You feel for other people. Don't let this experience change that about you, right? Yeah. Because there are good people in the world, and there's someone out there that's looking for someone like you. Yeah. And we bond, we talk all the time, and I'm like, my guy, you're a good person. There's woman out there that would die to be with someone like you. Like, you're not like most people that I know, bro. Like, you don't care about the hype. You just want to help other people. You want to live out your dreams. You want to work hard, and you want to be this person that eventually creates a family. When we first talked, you said, my ultimate dream is just to have a family. Yeah,
my dream one day is to have a wife and kids. Just because from when I grew up, I didn't see that growing up. I didn't see healthy homes, I didn't see that type of stuff. So my dream has always been, one day I want to have a wife and I want to have kids and I want to have a home. And that's my dream, to come home to a family one day. That's what I want. And a lot of people think that's crazy. Like, most people's dreams is to go here and have this fancy car, all that. Don't get me wrong, I want that, but the more important things in life, which is family, stuff you can't.
That's the foundation.
Yes. And that's what I want one day. I would love to have a wife who I can come home with, my best friend, and have kids and just have a healthy home of what I didn't have growing up.
Yeah.
So that's my ultimate dream. And, love is beautiful. It is, when it's healthy.
Do you think you were just projecting that because you wanted it so much? It was kind of like a forced thing?
I wouldn't say it was forced. It was just, I would say that, both of us had our own egos. Both of us had our own prides, and we let that get in the way. And, things just didn't, pan out.
This is not relationship therapy. So we yeah. So what is your mental health? You've been through relationships. You're still processing that. You went through a rough childhood.
Yeah.
You still managed to come on top. Like,
yeah.
Where's your mentality? Where's your mental health now?
See, mental health is essential to our growth as human beings. That's the biggest key. So society, especially now in today's society, a lot of men and women, especially men, we tend to hold things in, and we tend to let it numb us and let it just hold it in and act like robots. But we're human. Human beings have emotions. We naturally have emotions with us. So with my mental health and my struggles I struggle with anger from being abused and growing up in all these different homes. I having parents around. I became bitter at a very young age, and I had anger inside of me. And I tried to play it off and hold it in and just become bitter and act like a robot. But that's not true. We all have flaws. I have flaws. You have flaws. Oprah has flaws. All of us have flaws in this world. But it's up to us to take those flaws and what we do with it and use it to grow. Because if we don't use those flaws to grow, we stay stagnant and the opportunities will fade from us because those flaws hold us back in life. We have to face those flaws head on, and we have to find ways to overcome those flaws to grow past it. See, that's what life is about. It's about growth, because when you grow, then new opportunities open up, new levels open up, you reach new heights and levels. But when you stay stagnant, you don't grow and you stay the same. So we all have our flaws that we go through. We all have mental health issues that some people are good with, some people struggle with. But we have to find ways to overcome those flaws and get past them. So for me, my flaw has always been I struggle with anger at times in certain situations. So what I had to do was I had to get myself into therapy and work with a therapist to get over those flaws and find new ways to cope, to not lash out in certain situations and to not just get mad and shut down and be bitter. You have to find new ways to cope with it, to get past it. And that's what's so important about our mental health nowadays, is we have to find ways to get past this. And we have to raise mental health awareness so that people who have these flaws can get past them and not hold it in and let society fool us that we're all supposed to be happy and be robots. No, we all struggle and we all go through things. It's our ability to push past it with the mental health and get past it to reach the new levels we want to get to in life.
Mm-hmm. I think that topic is very, very important for the simple fact a lot of people compress that feeling of anxiety, depression, or feeling like you have to, or you don't have an outlet to speak on.
Yeah, almost put on. Right. Have you ever seen that picture on social media where the guy gets out of bed and he's angry, but he puts on a happy mask?
Yeah,
that's the type of way that people try to act. Like
that's how this generation is kind of growing up.
And you hear rappers talk about it all the time, and they put on this act and they act like it doesn't get to them, and they just get into drugs and alcohol and whatever your outlet is, that's what they get into. But we have to find healthy ways to get past that and push through it to grow as people. Yeah. Otherwise, we'll just stay the same, and the cycle will keep repeating itself.
Where did that stem from? That mindset of pushing forward. Because, like I explained earlier, like sometimes you just like, damn, can I get a break?
Yeah.
Why do I got to continue to be this strong, independent human being? Why do I have to continue to face adversity and have these anxieties and these thoughts in my head that I don't know the reason this happening?
Right.
It's tough.
Yeah.
So where does that mindset like stem from you? Because you have this go-getter mentality.
Yeah.
That you have to go get it.
See, I understood at an early age without growing up without parents and growing up in homeless shelters and stuff like that. I understood at a very early age that nothing is going to be given to me. Yeah. I don't have the handouts. And a lot of staff and a lot of people would preach that to us is you guys already have a bad hand you're dealt. You guys don't have parents. You guys don't have the family that a lot of these kids have to fall back on. You have to work hard to get there because you're already against the odds right now. Now, what are you going to do with that situation? So I learned at a very early age, people always told me that nothing is given to you. You have to work hard to get it. So that go-getter mentality came to me as I started to pay attention to it more in life. You know, living in foster homes where, you know, they don't really give you stuff. They don't give you rides, you know, stuff like that. I learned to be very independent at a very early age and learn how to get stuff on my own. And, you know, I had people along the way who helped me out. You know, my uncle taught me a lot of stuff. You know, friends and older friends and staff members taught me a lot of stuff and watched a lot of podcasts and read a lot of books and just became normal to the fact that if I want to accomplish something, I have to work hard to go get it. Nobody will do it for me, because that's the world we live in today.
It seems like you apply that to everything, like even relationships. Like, I'm gonna work hard as I can in order for me to get what I want.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even what I want. I'm going to work hard as I can to make things work. So whether that's a job that I have, I'm going to work hard to make that job last, so that way I can maybe one day move up and I can keep the job and get paid. Relationship, make it last, so one day we can get married eventually, because that's what goals should be in a relationship, is marriage, obviously, and then kids and, stuff like that. So you always want to work hard and have a goal. Otherwise, you're just working hard like a chicken with your head cut off. You don't know what you're doing. You want to work hard and have a vision and goal set in place that you can get to. So that's the biggest thing that I learned.
You have this motivational aspect in you.
Yeah.
So it'll be great for you to be a motivational speaker. What's philosophies and things you would want to speak on so people can maybe grow, be inspired, be motivated by some of your messages?
Learning to accept your flaws and learning how to work past them to grow. Because like I said, we all have flaws, and that's what really holds us back. Is we tend to be the biggest enemies of ourselves, because we hold ourselves back. So learning how to get past those. 2 is learning to obviously work hard and stay dedicated for the things that you want to work hard and get. And 3 is learning to be the best person you can be, which means being good to people, being kind to people. It's not about the money. It's not about the cars, because you can have all that, like, and be an asshole and be rude to people, like we see with Donald Trump, and we see with other celebrities. You have to find ways to it's all about, when we die, we'll be remembered for how we treat people. That's the biggest thing, is you want to be a good person first, because then opportunities open up for you.
Everybody's a coach. Everybody's a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
I think it's good, though. It's good.
Everybody can do that, but how many people apply it to their life actually and speak on it and stand on it? That's the biggest key.
Well, people see a business, they see a niche. Obviously, they want a piece of the pie.
Because people always tell me all the time, you're very inspirational because you stand on what you say and you actually do it. And that's what I learned, growing up in Chicago and growing up in Rockford, that, you got to show me first. You have to show me. And that's what I've always been told. You got to show me. So actions speak louder than words. Facts. And what you can do shows off of that. So anybody can talk about what they want to do all day, but how many people are really going to put in the work to get there? How many people are really going to make the sacrifices to get there? How many people are really going to stay up those long nights and get up those early mornings to make it happen and go through the pain and the trials and tribulations that come with that? Because there's going to be failure along the way, but what are you going to do to get there?
Yeah.
That's what separates, the good from the average from the great.
You're so young and you know that. That's crazy.
I just read a lot of books, bro.
Yeah,
read a lot of books and study a lot of people and watch a lot of stuff. You learn. Use your time to good, not just scrolling on social media. You learn it from good things. Use it towards good things. So
yeah, that's amazing, bro. And I'm so happy that you took the time to evaluate that, because most people live their whole life with this inherent personality or this flaw that they may have, but they don't seek why. Yeah. Right? They don't understand that. And you being at a young age, and I keep saying that because that is amazing. Like you're conscious of the actions and the decisions that you make, and all you want to do is improve.
Yeah.
But you even peel back another layer to understand that this came from an experience.
Yeah.
That you unfortunate you had to go through.
Yeah.
Right? And it developed not only maybe these flaws that you're talking about, having these anger issues and stuff like that, but it made you even aware that you have them.
Yeah.
So you can work on it day in and day out to become a better person. So as you have kids and a family, you don't instill those same...
No, you break the cycle.
Exactly. You completely break the cycle, bro. So congratulations on that. Like, real talk, man. It takes a man to even talk about that, because I was raised in an environment that is being pussy. Yeah. In other words, is that you're soft. You're a soft human being. That's it's not man-like for you to express yourself in a way that you are in tune with your emotions.
Right.
And you're very in tune with your emotions. Yeah. Sometimes you say stuff and I'm like, yo, did you understand what you just said? But you mean you're sincere about the things that you say and the things that you do. So I appreciate that. I love that when we have those conversations, is because you're so genuine. And I'm not even trying to gas you up. Like, you know me, I'm the type of person to show everybody love.
Yeah.
And you're one of those people that it was just fortunate that we crossed paths, and now we in this together, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we gonna be friends forever type. Yeah. Right?
Oh, of course, bro.
And I even said this, like, yo, you got anger issues? I know how to get it popping. Even if we fight, we still gonna be friends.
I wouldn't say anger issues. It's just anger in certain situations that I struggle with more.
So you know your trigger moments. You know your trigger. Your
so
trigger
in
points.
certain triggers, I need to learn how to remain in character of who I am.
Well, you so out of the hood mentality.
No, because I grew up seeing that, and I don't want to be like that. Because I grew up seeing that my whole life. Like, it is. I don't think it's cool to sag your pants and to talk ghetto and to cuss in every sentence you say.
But yo, some people don't know.
Some people don't know, but they don't take the time to find new ways to grow.
But it's just when something is so embedded in your brain that you don't see outside of your environment, your four corners.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you even know that what you're doing is not up to standard?
Yeah.
Right? Because who are we to even judge? And I'm not saying you're judging, but I look at it from a the same perspective, but maybe a little broader.
Right.
Because I was in an environment for so long until I left that environment, I started to see things from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And sometimes people don't leave those four corners.
No.
And they live their whole life. So my message in that was like, I'm glad that you was able to see outside that brick wall.
Yeah.
And understand that there's something psychologically that you are going through that's hindering your growth.
Yeah.
And you took the time to go get therapy because you understand there's certain things that triggered you.
Right.
That will put you in an emotional state that you don't want to be in.
No.
So that is amazing, bro.
And, you know, that's the only flaw I've had that's held me back. You know, sometimes I might come across as being annoying or talk too much or maybe be a little too goofy or even sometimes be selfish. But the only flaw I've ever had is just my anger in certain situations because I didn't see healthy ways to go about it growing up. Like I said, I grew up in a very abusive household for years. And in my foster homes, I grew up in some foster homes, I grew up getting abused. And in some of the places that I was at in homeless shelters and, you know, facility, I saw a lot of abuse. So you have to find new ways to unravel that and not let that hold you back. Because if you let that hold you back, all you're doing is stunting your growth and you'll never change. And you have to break that cycle to get past that.
That's so difficult, though.
It is, but it's a process. You have to be patient with yourself to get past it.
That's even a whole nother can of worms that you just open up. But a lot of people are not patient because
they want to see it today.
Right
exactly.
now.
That's what separates a lot of successful people from unsuccessful people, because how many people are going to stay along the journey as it goes past?
Yeah. So, because one day I could be 10 years into personally growing and developing as a human being, but then that trigger comes and it resets everything I ever worked hard for.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. You just know when you become so self-aware, you know, in those moments. Like, for instance, let's say you're at work and there's this annoying coworker or this annoying customer that's just annoying.
Beat his ass.
What you would do in that situation is you feel yourself getting upset, right? Hey, can I get a manager down here? Call for a manager. You know, hey, I'm upset. You know, I can't do this right now. Walk away from it. What harm ever came from walking away from something? Yeah. 2, feel yourself getting upset. Take a deep breath, relax, and then talk about it. Because when we're so in the moment and we're so engaged, we don't think before we act. We just act off our impulses. Which is true, because a lot of us have been in that moment where it's like, yo, I was just in the heat of the moment. I wasn't thinking, you know, that when you take a step back to breathe and when you take a step back and you really feel yourself getting worked up and everything, then that's when you can, okay, I got to walk away, or I'm going to calm down, or like, hey, you know, I'm sorry this is going on. That you have to have that self-discipline inside of you to get there. That's the biggest.
I think that's deep. Like, you going into like a spiritual realm. We can go in.
Not even spiritual. It's just learning ways to calm yourself down and learning ways to diffuse situations. That's the biggest key.
I think it's within. Having that real estate inside to maneuver in certain situations that you want to be.
And then also too, who wakes up every day saying they want to be angry, or they want to? I'm gonna wake up today and I want to get into an argument with somebody. No. We don't wake up like that. We wake up and we sometimes wake up on the bad side of the day.
I have to disagree. I have to disagree.
You have to?
Yeah, there's people that are so embedded in that. The toxic mentality is like, not only is it like they consciously aware of being maybe a shit person, but subconsciously is embedded in them for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to that four corners.
Yeah.
It's because of the environment that created this maybe paradigm or mindset where they're just a shit person. There's shitty people, you know that.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. The messages that you're saying is like, yo, we put up this image like we're perfect. Yeah. You're really hitting a tone that somebody's out there that may be going through like struggles with that because of, again, their environment.
Yeah.
So it's important for us to stop like bullshitting around that.
Yeah.
Like, it's the truth. It's the real truth. It's not. This is genuine. I never want to
be like that anyways. Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
it's true. Because people always tell me like, you would never guess you went through any of that stuff.
Yeah,
like,
how does
tell me that? They're like, I would never guess you went through any of that, just because how much I grew as a person.
That's insane. When you look at your track record.
Because where I was 2 years ago to now, I was nowhere. Not take away the accomplishments, just as a person, I was nowhere near where I am now.
Why is that? Why do you think?
Just was kind of.
Were you driven? You were still driven?
Yeah, I was still driven, but I didn't have the personal development or personal growth to get there. I didn't have the personality I have today. I didn't have.
It's a whole different world, right?
That I have
it's
today.
A whole different world when
I wasn't able to make friends this easy as I am today.
It's because you getting into the zone. There's like even when I seen you first come in, it's like a aura. It's like a energy. You're full of energy, like an energy.
I've noticed a lot of people told me that too. I mean, you know how you always tell me you give off good energy. I like your energy. A lot of people have been telling me that too. You give off good energy. I like your energy.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why you're attracting good people. You're attracting like, all these moves that you're making.
Yeah.
That you're about to work with the mayor or a side. Just in that field. Like you said you want to be a motivational speaker. You literally got it handed on your lap. You went for one reason, and then the opportunity you've been looking for came. Yeah. That's insane, bro. I see you just went on a trip, bro.
Yep.
How was that?
It was
Who
amazing.
did you go with?
I actually went by myself.
You crazy, bro. Like, who does that?
I don't know, bro. What I think about is tomorrow is never promised. So why wait on somebody when you can go? Like, I don't want to spend my life waiting on somebody to go with the trip, because then I may not never never go. You know what I mean? So bullshit. I wanted to go, and I don't know. I just went, and I went to Greece. I went out to Europe, and I went to Greece, Athens, Greece, and I went to Rome, Italy, and I went to Germany, and it was amazing, bro. I really enjoyed it. It was an amazing time, really fun. It's amazing to be able to see different parts of the world and see just how much bigger our world is and just how much bigger life is than something small that we stress about to this day.
That's a fact.
And I have fun. I didn't think I was going to like traveling, but it's awesome. You get to experience new food, you get to experience new languages, hear new languages, see new different cultures, see new different types of people, see different type of cars, different roads, how their economics work and how their fashion trends are and everything. It was awesome, bro. I love traveling now. I love it. That's what I got into Instagram for more, and Instagram,
the professional aspect of connecting.
And connecting, and I want to be an author and speaker, and I want to be a successful.
You're already that. Look. You got my testimony.
Not to where I want to be right now.
Why is that? See, that goes back to you being hard on yourself.
No, it's not being me. It's not.
Oh, you're trying to compare.
No. It's not me being hard on myself. It's me having the hunger to reach a new level. And
when is that going to stop? You think because you reach let's say you reach 1 million sales, you think you're all of a sudden that's going to turn off? Like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with just 1 million. No, that's going to continue. You're going to be like, just 1 million? No, we can't do just 1 million. I got to keep that hunger. When does that stop? I have kind of the same syndrome.
Yeah.
Is that healthy?
I mean, if you know how to balance it. So one of my favorite players, God rest his soul, Kobe Bryant. I really love Kobe Bryant, and he always would talk about how to stay hungry and stay driven and not be stagnant, but also have a balance with your everyday life. So with him, he grew up in Italy, and he didn't have a lot of friends because his dad was in the military and he didn't speak Italian. So he pushed himself to learn Italian to be able to play basketball with other kids. Then he pushed himself to learn Spanish. Then he pushed himself to not only win 5 championships with the Lakers, but push himself to be the best player that he could be and not let people hold him back to what he wanted to do. Mamba mentality. Yeah, that's the biggest key. Mamba mentality is what I really read about and got into, because when you have that mentality, there's no stopping you. It's a hunger, go-getter type of mentality. And there has to be a balance with that. So from what he was saying, with him, a balance with him and his family, him and his wife, there's a time to have it on the court and off the court. So you have to have that internal switch of when to have it on and when to not have it on. That's the biggest key.
Yeah.
So it's all about balance. It's all about balance. That's how it is.
Yeah, that's a space where I'm navigating in.
Yeah.
I gotta find that balance, because
exactly,
I'm beasting.
Yeah.
Like I'm and sometimes I question, not is it worth it, but bro, I ask the weirdest questions. Like, what is life? Like, what is real life? Not life as the way we see it.
Yeah.
Because all of this is like manipulated technology and architecture.
Yeah.
And things that weren't real 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago. Like, if you into the Bible and stuff like that, like it's nothing that we see. It's completely different.
Right.
And although, the Bible talks about some of the things that we have now, but 1,000 years ago, how were they living?
Exactly.
What was important? What was the morals? What was the character of a normal human being? Were they like, I gotta get it, I gotta go, I gotta do more, I gotta do more? Or was it just family?
I mean, but this thing is that we all have adapted. That's their era.
Right.
We adapted to something new because this is our era.
Listen, this podcast is about giving people value. You gave a ton of value. But if somebody could take one thing, something that's meaningful to you, or something that has helped you overcome the adversity or things that you struggled with, what would you tell that person?
I would tell that person to always work hard and find new ways to get past it, because everything in today's world is meant to be broken down. So you can break down everything. You can break down a car, you can break down a building. Everything is meant to be broken down, so that way you can break down the layers and get past it. So for instance, if you struggle with, let's say, personal development, or you're struggling at a job or something like that, there's always a different way you can break it down to look at it differently and to grow past it and get to a new situation that you want to get to. So the biggest key, I would say, is to not give up and let it get to you. You have to find new ways to work hard and stick with it and change your mindset on it. Break your mindset down, change it, and go about it a different way. There's always a new way and always a new level you can get to.
I love that, man. You're definitely mad inspirational.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
I'm not sure you don't think like that all the time, right?
No.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, man, because you need balance. You're a little fucked up here and a little motivational here. I think even me, man, like this is me all the time. This is the conversations that I speak about, and I'm just me all the time. I'm fun, witty, cool, and I'm obsessed with personal development. So thank you guys for watching, man. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. We had a fun conversation. You're going to see more of Devin here. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, my brother.
We're definitely going to do this again.
Oh, for sure.
You're definitely not a stranger to the podcast. Like I said before, my platform is your platform. You're doing great things, not only for yourself, but for the community. You're growing, you're inspiring, and you're pushing forward. I'm glad that I'm able to witness your growth and see how much momentum you have in your life. Keep growing, keep inspiring, and be great. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, my brother.
If you guys knew what we do here, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, share. If you found any value in this, you share this with someone. So where can people find you, bro? You
can find me on Instagram. That's my main social media platform, just Instagram. Just for right now, yeah. I'm just big on IG, trying to build up my platform, trying to get that right, and just trying to gain more followers, gain more page visits, trying to build my IG profile up. That's my main focus, is trying to get that, as building my brand and building myself up as a speaker and writer. That's the biggest platform.
Amazing. And you even sharing stuff like this, my testimony, which is his whole like biography, right?
Yep.
Autobiography. Everything. Autobiography. this is everything, bro. This book was amazing, but
it's been to 3 different countries too.
It's been to 3 different countries. That's crazy.
It's been in the mayor of Tampa's hands too.
That's insane, bro. You're doing big things, bro.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Trying to keep working harder to get to the next level. And hopefully when I come back, I'll have more accomplishments and be at a different level. So
yes, sir. Keep striving. We out of here. Peace.